Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Music Theory Mondays. Today we're going to discuss chord progressions, what they are, and kind of go through a couple that tend to be focused stylistically. So in other words, I'm going to show you a basic jazz chord progression, basic blues chord progression, maybe a pop/rock chord progression, just to give you guys an idea of what chord progressions typically go with what style. And I'm not going to go too in-depth with this. I'm just going to give you a little taste, just to give you an idea. So, a chord progression is essentially where you pick a key, and for the sake of the lesson here, we're going to go key of C, right? So we have all those white keys, key of C major, and you have all these chords. You have C major, you have D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then of course the B diminished. And I'm just playing those as simple triads. So a chord progression is where you first pick your key, and then you pick the chords within the key. Now typically you're going to want a 1 chord, because that sets the foundation. And you're also probably going to want a 5 chord somewhere, because that's what creates the drama and offers the resolution back home. So I think we'll start with the jazz style. One of the most popular chord progressions in the jazz style is called the 2-5-1. And because this is jazz, I'm going to be playing the full extension within the scale, so I'll be doing minor 7, major 7, and also dominant 7th chords in describing this. So in the key of C, if we're focusing on the jazz style, the 2 chord would be D minor 7. And the chord progression we're dealing with here is a 2-5-1. So in the key of C, the 2 chord is D minor 7, the 5 chord is a G7, and the 1 chord is a C major 7. I'll play it a couple more times for you. And there you have a 2-5-1 in the jazz style. Now we're going to quickly shift over to blues. Blues music, there's a lot of variation with the blues. The blues scale itself is very colorful. I'm pretty sure I've done a video on it in the past, but just to give you a quick recap, the blues scale in C is C, E flat, F, G flat, G, B flat, and C. Alright, so there's some notes missing. There's no D, and there's no A within the blues scale. There's also a minor 3rd, a diminished 5th, and a minor 7. So you get the minorish vibe from the E flat and B flat being the minor 3rd and minor 7, and then that blue note is your diminished 5th, also known as the tritone, right? That F sharp or G flat, depending on how you want to spell it, that is your blue note. That's what gives that blues scale its power, and it also distinguishes it from the the minor pentatonic scale, right? Because technically, the only difference between the minor pentatonic and the blues is that tritone, or flat 5. So we're just going to do a basic 1-4-5 for the blues, and we're going to be doing all 7th chords. The blues likes dominant chords, and obviously this is not everything you could ever learn about the blues, but a basic blues chord progression would be a 1-4-5 in the key of C, as always, and everything is going to be a dominant chord. So we have the C7 to an F7 to a G7. and there's your simple blues, 1-4-5. The next and final chord progression of the day is going to be one that comes up in pop music a lot. And there's actually a couple of these. I think I'll throw them both out at you real quick. They're both 4 chord progressions, meaning that there's 4 chords in the progression. And the first one is the 1-6-4-5. All right, now the 1 chord being the major chord, and we'll just do triads here because we're dealing with pop music. So there's your 1, C major. Now we're going to do the 6, which is A minor. And then we're going to move up to the 4, which is F major, and then we land and end that progression on the dominant chord, G. I'm going to play this, and you'll probably recognize this chord progression, having probably heard it thousands of times in popular music. So here we go. There's your 1-6-4-5. The other chord progression that's very similar and also used in the pop style would be the 1-4-2-5. So again, in the key of C, we have the 1, which is C major, to the 4, to the 2, which is D minor, to the 5, which is G major. And there you have it, guys. Chord progressions, what they are, and a couple examples of popular ones in their given respective style. I hope you all learned a little bit of something today. If anybody has any questions, comments, likes, subscribes, leave them below. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.